It's a feed filling up with red. Sonic making the most of it. He's dropped all the way down. That is insane.
What?
Two fast ones rips them apart. Sonic still alive with the shorty. Picking up Sun.
When I said I trusted in Sonic, that's what I meant. Sonic's the GOAT of this game. Don't ever doubt the GOAT. Sentinels got cooked by Loud's crazy Ascent comp. But before we take a look at that, first let's take a look at this. Do you ever feel like you're not playing that well and just need a little wake-up call to really what's going on in your games? Much like when me and Elevated roasted this guy.
Tracker stats on the screen make it even worse. So far, they've hit 6 total shots in 6 rounds, and none of them have been headshots.
But how did Elevated know all of those stats and numbers? Well, it was from the Valorant tracker, which is the best way to get detailed in-game live match stats to track your performance as well as your teammates and opponents. Not only that, you can easily check and review in-depth breakdowns of all of your past matches. And if you need help learning an agent, that's no problem either because there's guides posted for all of them. So go download the Tracker app from the link in the description or the pinned comment and go get that help that you've needed to stop you from being hard stuck and get the rank that you actually want. Thanks to Tracker for sponsoring the video, and now let's get back to it. First, let's focus on Sentinel's defense side. Now, let's take a look at that Loud comp because it truly is very bizarre, right? The thing that you have to think about with this comp, particularly when you're defending against a comp something like this, is what are they lacking? They're lacking 2 things, right? They don't have a Sentinel, so flanking might be more, good in general because they're not going to know about it as much. But also, they don't have any dive agents, right? There's no Jet or Raze or Neon or anything like that, Yoru. So basically what that means is that if you are Sentinels, the choke points on the map, right, these areas right here, are very important to defend because they don't have anything that can just easily get through there, right? Maybe you could Omen TP or something, but generally that's pretty obvious and it's going to need a full Omen smoke to do it or something, right? So you're often going to know about that. It's not going to be easy for them to do so. So what you want to do against this kind of comp is defend the choke points, basically. And in this round number 4, Sentinels do a really good job of that.
Media knife from Zelsa's close. Just against the wall here. You can get the molly off before the knife hits. Second. It's going to be meeting some congestion, and that's just all about the timing through the smokes. Fast now. That's their approach. They're going to try and hold this one down, which, listen, Tens and Zelsa's, they do that. They stop the ult for just a moment here. Aftershock towards the side, but Tens is at the back of Jenny. Dodging the flash. Still alive behind the dice as well. Reposition with the TP. John QT there to help him out.
So in that pretty fast round there, we saw a lot of kind of denial of those choke points, right? What you see here from Sentinels, although Zekken does push into the smoke and die just here, and they end up in a 4v5. From this point on, it's all very good because you're going to see we're going to get the Omen flash out here, right? And actually, Tens is able to deal with the Phoenix ult coming in as well. So these guys all get delayed when the Phoenix ult dies. These 3 are all kind of stalled out, and you're going to get the KO nade coming in here from Zelsis as well, which is going to separate Les and Tui's, and is going to give a 1v1 that Zelsis is able to win. And this is all defending those choke points, right? And you see we get into a good spot because of it. And also then Sassy is going to Sova ult this as well, right? So they deal with kind of all of the waves that this comp can throw at you pretty well here, and they don't let them into the choke point very easily. And yeah, sure, Loud have a ton of utility to throw at you, and so, it's still very difficult. I mean, look at Zelsa's screen there. I mean, he's blind. There's an Aftershock, and there's blinds from both teams. There's a Sova ult coming in as well. Obviously, he's in a rough spot, but it gave enough time for John to get across here and for them to win the round. And Sentinels didn't do a bad job on their defensive side either in general. They ended up with a lead at the halftime, but there were a couple rounds like this one and another one I'll show as well, where they wanted to try and get aggressive and, try and fight in spaces against Loud in general. The problem is, against Loud's comp, they're quite good at dealing with that, right? They've got a lot of flashes, they've got a lot of mollies and stuff to help deal with these team fights that happen in kind of the intermediate spaces in the map, right? And so when Sentinels went for them, it generally didn't go too well.
All expectations are out the window on what a normal result is for the half.
Just purely react Andy from us.
Yeah. It has to be when you have comps like this. But major ultimates up. That's a great recon.
And big reveal as well from these players. Mid, they still want to take the fight here. 2 years. Just facing them, stunned. A little bit delayed, a little bit late, not quite. Just colliding with the bodies.
So Loud for the first time here, getting snarled up. The last 2 rounds not gone their way. Low buy.
They want to fight this? Oh my, and there we go, the punish.
But although those aggressive plays sometimes didn't work, in round number 10, they had an absolutely genius idea. Take a look at what they're going to do, because you look at the map, it looks like they're going to be aggressive again here. And they are. Or are they? Well, let's find out, because what's going to happen is they're going to send TenZ out here. You see the smoke comes in here. TenZ is actually going to TP into it as well. We're going to send a KO flash. You can just see on the screen there. And we're going to send a Sova Dart up here as well. Right, so this looks like Tiles aggro, right? This looks like Tiles push, you know, probably someone's going from B main, you know, oh, you're in a lot of trouble. What's the normal response to a Tiles push? It is quickly run to A. Hey, they've got multiple people committed to this. A site is going to be weak, if not free. But you might notice that that isn't the case for Sentinels, because we actually have Zekken still over there. And the thing is, Zekken has an op. So this is absolutely genius by Sentinels, because what they're basically trying to get Loud to do, and TenZ is actually just going to run away here, right? They're not actually trying to kill anyone in Tiles. They're just trying to bait Loud to actually go towards A, right? If someone's there to kill, sure, get a kill and get out. But if not, you're going to run into an op, perhaps thinking that this is a free site.
Well, they're trying to come up with ideas on the fly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sentinels really getting tested here. Oh, TenZ just slipping out.
Still money for the goodbye here. Second this time. Again with the op, but he's stunned up. This is the common position he's been playing. Flashes, sent flying with the molly as well. He can't re-peek off into heaven. Sassy's here.
Now, you might have noticed there, wait, you said that was a genius idea, but it didn't really go that well, right? I mean, Zekken couldn't find any kills here, and actually, yeah, it didn't work that well, because Loud were much more cautious than perhaps Sentinels were hoping, right? They KO knifed this, they kind of slowly walked there. They perhaps, you know, were a bit suspicious, like, where's your jet? And you see they start jump peeking, they stun it. Sadek is very smart, okay? And Loud are a very smart team. So yeah, they perhaps figured out that something is a bit wrong there. You know, why isn't your jet a part of that Tiles crunch, etc. So they were more cautious and they got into the site. But here's the second part of why this was such a good plan for this round. Because we have a KO. Because again, you would think like against Loud's comp, you know, they struggle to get out of choke points. So why are we going for this mid aggression? You know, even if it's a fake mid aggression, if they don't have to use that much util to get out of this choke point and get the spike down, right? But we have a KO ult in this round. So we know that all of that post-plant util that they're potentially relying on, they're not going to have, and Sentinels have a beautiful retake.
What kind of noise Q is he waiting for? The plant? Yes, he is. There's one. No chance to try and walk through the door. There was a timing attempted by QCK. Up top, though. Here it is. Paranoia. Dash
Big
forwards
flash.
into the smoke. No real damage. There's a follow-up. Another flash. Nade on top of it. It's a masterclass of a concoction. But Sen, they take the site by storm.
But now let's swap sides and come to Loud's defensive half, where I thought they really showed what this comp can potentially do. And we'll start here with this round, the first pistol round that they have, where Sentinels have actually come in onto the site and they're going to plant the spike. And we end up in a full 5v5 retake. Now, 5v5 retakes on a pistol round, on Ascent, aren't really a new idea, particularly for the A site. But with this comp, it goes really hard.
Barely an injury.
Cells just looking to see if there's going to be any kind of pop flash play through the smoke. I think that's extremely likely. I mean, they still
Molly.
have so
Stun,
much util.
Paranoia, nades, it's all being combined! And Loud got everything to deal with this one. Smoke in their face as well. Celsius is completely isolated away. Damage being done. John team knocked down to absolutely almost anything. They're just spamming away into the smoke. Maybe Celsius can get lucky. Bit of RNG, maybe with a clacky. He's dodging all these bullets well enough, but still only good for the one. It's traded out wide. Turret dealing with it, sticking it 2 years. There's only 2 bullets left, and it's not going to be enough.
So this is an unbelievable pistol round retake where you don't have full utility, but really anyone in this area here, the Sentinels players are. In fact, I'm going to move my head down here so that you can fully appreciate this, because just take a look at the utility we're going to see. It starts with the Phoenix Molly. Hits Zelsis right there. So he's getting Phoenix Molly. Then the Breach Stun comes across, and Loud don't have anyone in heaven yet because they know that they're going to Breach Stun across here. You then get the Omen Flash coming around here. You've got a Phoenix Flash that comes out from QCK down here as well. You're going to get the KO nade that lands up in here on heaven as well. And then you're going to get a Breach Flash in here that I think I think Zagan gets double blind here. I think gets blinded by the Phoenix Molly and then blinded again by a Breach Molly. And then they figure out that 2 of them are, you know, down here in towards main as well. And then it's just like, look, they know that Zelsis is in there. He's just trapped behind the smoke, and they deal with it really well. I mean, it's just an unbelievable round. And Loud continued with some amazing set plays, as you'll see.
Cautious approach is generally going to be better for Sentinels. here, the recon darts got broken, so Sen should expect someone to be playing close mid.
No way. No way. It's a refight out. They're just trying to play it through into Cat. Not getting punished. Still, they hold their ground.
So again, this is just beautiful, and actually it could have been even worse for Sentinels, as I'll show you in just a second, but you've got the Viper Wall that they're doing pretty much every round here, right? And this Viper Wall kind of has some problems, to be honest, because sometimes it can cut you off from mid, right? Sometimes you want to know what's going on there, but of course, when you control the Viper Wall and you know what you're doing, it's going to allow them to get up into these positions just here, and then just explode out. And it really is incredible what they do, because you'll see here, it's not just a Phoenix Flash, right? They're going to smoke off towards tiles in a second. Phoenix Flash comes out. The this KO nade I think is genius, right? Because you know that the one angle that this Phoenix Flash is not going to catch is just behind the gen here. Funnily enough, there is actually Zekken there. The only reason he survives all of this is because there's so much going on in the chaos. He updrafts and then is able to dash away, and no one kind of notices he's there until it's too late, because there's just too much else going on, right? There's too much back and forth everywhere else. See, QCK doesn't even see him, but he only just dashes out at that point. So this whole time, you know, Zekken was just living up here, just like updrafted and just chilling there, essentially, whilst he's just watching everyone else die. But from here, it's actually a 4v3, but the round plays out in a very bizarre way, because the spike is down just here, and Sentinels can't really retrieve it. But Loud actually just retreat away, happy in their 4v3, and come kind of over towards B, perhaps thinking the Sentinels will have gone and retrieved the spike. Sentinels think the Loud are just guarding the spike, so they decide to come over towards B to get Tens the ult orb so that he can go and ult it at any point.
Still, they hold their ground. Spike dropped down onto Cat. They weren't expecting it, but that's the power of this comp. You have so many flashes. And you can double controller. You get exactly pick and choose your timings.
Yeah, you pick when the Viper Wall goes down, and they just exploded onto them. Now Sen are left reeling. I mean, they're trying to take some map control on the other side, assuming that Loud are playing over the spike. I mean, the spike looks like a secondary objective at the moment.
Yeah, it does.
Just littered around the map.
Tens has got the ult to pick it back up if they want to make a go of it. Gonna see if they can take out some of these players as well. They're just anchoring, but less tucked to the side. Flash play just wasn't accounted for. Tens is all over the place.
But then finally, Sentinels struggled towards the end of the game in some of these post plants. Ended up in some very odd, peculiar post plants as well. And we'll talk about them just here. This one, we're actually 40 seconds into the round already, and Sentinels looked like they wanted to come towards A. They realized, let's not do that, because all of Loud were kind of there already, so they decided to come back to B instead. You see that they're kind of ready, but we do have a couple stragglers here. All of Loud are on the other side of the map, though. And they ulted to the B site, and of course, they don't, at this point, know that, you know, Loud on there, right, that they're fully rotated over towards A. So they're a bit cautious, as you can see, but they still get onto the site really with plenty of time. Right, by the time that they actually come onto the site and kind of, you know, are planting the spike, you know, they've still got plenty of time here, really. They don't perhaps know how much time they actually do have, but the crucial couple things are going to happen here. One is that John QT here normally will be playing in B main. I'm going to guess, just based off this round alone, that his job in a B post plant is to stay in B main. That's a pretty common thing for a Killjoy, so that you can definitely stay within range of your turret, etc., all of that stuff, right? The thing is, these two were the stragglers, right? The Jet and the Sova. These two were the stragglers, and they have a Sova ult. The problem is what ults Loud have, because they have a Phoenix ult, a Breach ult, and a KO ult. That's pretty tough to deal with. And also, crucially in this round, this happens. Les and Sassy see each other here, and I'll explain why that's so crucial to this round, because they see each other. Les actually then goes back. Sassy's going to Sova ult. Obviously, they know that all of those Loud ults are coming in, and these guys are going to get absolutely destroyed. But they're in a lot of trouble here, because Sassy wants to Sova ult to help them. So he comes and gets Zekken to come and help him, because the KO ult is going off. So John QT is suppressed, so his turret is down. So Sassy doesn't know whether to cancel his ult or not, so he needs someone else to come and help him. The problem is, these two are going to get destroyed. They actually do pretty well to start off with. But then they're going to get destroyed, and you're going to end up with 3 people here in B main, and these guys are just dead, and the round is just kind of over. And I think that this is the kind of thing, obviously, it's tough, right? You're against a Breach ult, a Phoenix ult, and a KO ult. Pretty much any post point you're going to have is going to be tough, but, you know, this was probably never going to win.
Breach ult,
exactly, yeah. I know the util's just far too much. Hunter's Fury from far, far away here. Rolling Thunder on top of it, tries to set it up. colliding and collapsing, but those aren't really kills, just dropping a player as well, and the ult that's from on top of it. Kalazine is just running all the way forwards. Another bit of util in his hands, but his teammates are just watching the right angles, collecting up the kills. So the fuse coming out, and they need to try and stop this one. Just can't get past less. That next line of defense, just watch.
And then in the very next round, we saw a kind of similar situation and the power of Loud's comp of what had happened before. Because what's happened in this one is Sentinels have come towards B. They hadn't really, you know, you see a couple kills here for both sides just there. And you see where Tui's is, right? And Tui's is really pushed up here. And he's, of course, heard them all run in here and knows basically that they're coming back to A. So he gets on his bike, you see, going back towards A, right? And the time is ticking down, so Sentinels kind of feel like they need to get in there. And Tui's just wants to play safe because he's in a 4v3, right? So you see he gets into kind of position, misses that shot, realizes he's kind of trapped, doesn't have any TPs either, decides to ult back out. The problem that they've got here is look at where Zekken is planting. Now, why is Zekken planting here and not further back over towards there? Well, the reason is because if you remember on the pistol round, if you plant in the normal default spot, they've got KO nades and Phoenix mollies and all of that, and aftershocks and God knows what else that is going to absolutely destroy you. So he plants on this side of the gen, not in a great plant spot.
Doesn't quite catch. Still, they have that player advantage, and Loud should be set up.
Two flashes, a stun. Loud get into position.
And here it is. Stun's there. Start to account for 3 players at the door, though, and it's only Zekken just holding close to the corner. He's just immediately cleaned up. Shoktar didn't clean up the kill, but it's only just Sassy collecting it, not planning for them. Sadak defusing, sticking, knows his teammates have got it all the way through. He's got half, running backwards and forwards, half of it already. Oh, it's all over. The util is simply too much to overcome.